It is my pleasure to welcome all the participants, faculty today for the second day of virtual training program on artificial intelligence and machine learning. I once again welcome the guest speaker who have come here to share their knowledge and vast experience with students. I believe that the last session on artificial intelligence was very useful, and I hope that the today's session will be a useful one too.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for coming for the day two session, and hope the yesterday session was very useful for you. And we have seen the glimpse of everything, like what is artificial intelligence and why we are studying it, and its influence in the current world, and its influence in the future. Okay, everything we have seen in the yesterday's class, and today we are going to see um, machine learning algorithms and a simple example using any one of the machine learning algorithms. Okay, so when you go through it, yesterday we have seen so much applications about artificial intelligence. I said like it was doing wonders, isn't it? AI is doing wonders, but how it is doing, how it can be done, okay, for which we need need some sort of algorithms, and one of them is the machine learning algorithms. Okay, so right now I am presenting my ppt. So if there is any problem you are facing during that presentation, please let me know. And I hope is my screen visible right now? My screen is showing us what is ml. Is it visible to everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you all. Yeah, okay, now what is mean by machine learning, or what is simply what is machine learning? Okay, so as we have seen yesterday, machine learning, artificial intelligence is making your machine to think like a human. So to make it to think like a human, you need something to implement, okay, to make it to learn, okay, for which we are using the machine learning algorithms. Okay, so through which you are making the machine to learn from what we are going to make it to learn from the data. Okay, and this ml is going to whatever the data we are feeding. Okay, what any amount of data, it's I'm whenever it comes to ml, you don't say like some 10 cross 10 data. Okay, it will be like hundreds of thousands of lakhs of data is getting involved. So whatever the amount of data you are feeding as input, it is going to identify the patterns in that. Okay, so how it is getting related, what kind of knowledge my machine can understand from that. So everything will be learned from it, and based on it the decisions are made. And the important point here is the human intervention. Okay, so whether human fully intervening in this activity, if it is the case, there is no term called as artificial intelligence, right? So as minimum as possible, we people can only feed the data, we can update the data, you can get some knowledge from the prediction. Okay, and again you can update your machine in such a way that to get updated based on the output of the previous data. So this is what the human doing in this case. Okay, and why I'm actually using this ml? Okay, it is the powerful tool actually. Whatever the wonders we have seen yesterday, everything is done by these ml algorithms. Okay, it can do wonderful predictions. Okay, again based on some data. And the main thing I have to remember here is without data. Okay, without data, whatever the topic we look here is it's not at all possible. Whatever the miracles we are looking is not at all possible. You cannot expect anything. Okay, so data is something, just a minute. Yeah. Data is something that provides the entire content. So large amounts of data. Okay, Okay, so what a human cannot do with this large amount of data? If I'm giving you some 10 pages of printout, how much time it will take for you to understand what is the data given inside that? Okay, நீங்க கேட்கலாம் மேம், I can see that as a take it a hard copy and I can take it or I can have it in a soft copy, I can search it. Okay, I can identify what is given there. Yes, but how long it is possible, how much time it is possible, it will take. Okay, so the large amount of data or whatever the amount of data it involves, your YAML takes the minimal amount of time. Okay, and the accuracy of this suggestion is always high. So the accuracy level of this suggestions will always be high, and this is the difference between what YAML is doing and we people are doing. Okay, and as we have seen yesterday, an example is Netflix, right? Netflix and Amazon, and not just the Amazon algorithms for book or Netflix algorithms for movie suggestion. I told you the online marketing suggestions. Okay, if you are searching for a simple laddu, it will show all the kind of laddu, isn't it? I was searching like Rajagira laddu in Flipkart. It is showing all the suggestions today. I was searching 2 days earlier. It is showing today all the kind of only the sweet items, how it is getting categorized. No spice items was there, only it is categorizing the sweet items. How it comes possible? So everything is based on your algorithms. Okay, the suggestions are made based on, maybe I would have searched at least some 10 items for that Rajagiri laddu. Maybe based on what I'm searching, it will ask you a question. Hope you'd have noticed that in online shoppings, if you are searching for a dress, what color you are expecting, what size you are expecting. நீ ரொம்ப நேரமா if I'm searching but I'm not selecting anything, it will ask you a suggestion. Okay, how it is done? Using this ML algorithms. Okay, so now getting inside the ML algorithms, there are actually three types. Types, or I can say main. The first two types are used very constantly, but the third type very rarely it is used. Okay, the supervised learning. Okay, so from the name supervised learning, you, that is the scientist, the developer is going to supervise the system, that is your AI system. Okay, he or she is going to supervise your model. Okay, AI model throughout, like from the feeding to the output and then updating. So everything is done by the supervised learning, and hence the amount of human intervention will be somewhat not like a manual work, but to a certain extent it is high. Okay, so the kind of, there are some six types of your supervised learning algorithm available. They are decision tree, naive based classification, ordinary least squares regression, or I can say it is a linear regression, and then your logistic regression, and support vector mission, or we used to call it as SVM. Hope you have studied this. And then ensemble methods. Okay, so each and every one of this method is very specialized in its own form. Okay, for example, linear and logistic, they work on the linear regression, that is linear model. Okay, they provide very good results in that linear model, whereas அப்போ மற்றதுக்கெல்லாம் ரிசல்ட் கொடுக்காதா? Yes, it will give, but the amount of accuracy, the percentage of accuracy will be less if I'm using some other data. Okay, whereas for a linear regression model, it will be giving, linear models, it will be giving more accurate, whereas this decision trees, it is somewhat different. Okay, it can give for anything. You are using a predefined formula. Okay, so for each and every supervised learning algorithm, they are having their own specialized functionalities. Okay, and then coming for unsupervised, so we have seen here the name supervised means the developer is going to supervise the AI model from the beginning to the ending. Okay, now comes your unsupervised. Okay, so from the name you may think that then the developer need not to interfere at all, but it is actually not right, it is false. The intervention of the developer is minimum. Okay, so now we are in the slide unsupervised learning. So if the slide is not changing or any problem, please let me know. Okay, so the unsupervised learning means the amount of human intervention, the manual work will be less. That's it. Okay, but both in supervised learning and in the unsupervised learning, in both the cases, the developer is going to get involved. So but what I told in the supervised is, once the data is fed enough, it will work on it, and it will the developer is going to update again. But in unsupervised, it will there is no need much. And one more thing is, it is mainly based on like classifications, okay, like clustering algorithms. It is mainly going to concentrate, so it doesn't need that much of manual involvement. Okay, so here the kind of algorithms in unsupervised are clustering, principal component analysis, or you would have heard it as PCA, then SVD, singular value decomposition, then ICA. Okay, so these are the some kind of in again, if I'm coming for clustering, it is having n number of times, and PCA I can do it in n number of times. There are different methods, but just I'm giving you the overview of these algorithms. And the last comes your reinforcement, somewhat similar to your supervised, but unsupervised, but it is having a unique feature that it can learn from its own model. Okay, so it can make some decision based on the previous decision. Okay, and hence, compared to the previous unsupervised learning, in reinforcement learning, the amount of human, that is manual work, is very, very minimal. Okay, so it is taking decision, but again, not 100%. Okay, it is taking decision of its own, depend on the previous decisions, depend on its previous decision. Okay, and the data what I am feeding as an updated one, okay, it will compare from the previous decision along with the new updated data what you are feeding, maybe the new updated data or the extended data, whatever it may be. Okay, so it tries to compare the previous decisions or the result along with the new or the updated data what you are feeding. Okay, so the human involvement will be very less and only for feeding the data. Okay, and right now it is mainly used in gaming. Maybe you'd have heard the gaming purposes. Okay, mainly it is used for gaming as of now. Okay, and now for the implementation of these ML algorithms, generally we will be using this Python, Jupyter, or and then Google Colabs. Okay, where I'll be using that is the language or Python and R, and the environment where I'm working is Jupyter and Colab. The reason is uh, these why can't I work with Python ideally? Why should I go for Jupyter or Colab? Abdina? It contains you already know that, right? So if I'm working with the machine learning algorithm, means it needs so many packages, okay, so many inbuilt tools I need, because machine learning algorithm is going to train your system. It is going to train some machine. Okay, so how it should be, it should predict something, it should give some accurate values to you. Okay, for that, if I'm again writing the codes instead of using these tools, means it will take more amount of time. And hence what I'm doing is, instead of writing a Python code for from the scratch from everything, what we used to do in like a normal typical C programming, here I can use many number of tools and packages. Okay, and that's the reason I'm using the Jupyter and Colab environment. Whereas in languages, I'm using not time. Generally, it is used like Python and R. As again we know, compared to the typical languages, the Python is provided with many inbuilt packages, and its syntax is damn easy compared to other languages. Okay, only the indentation and some colons here and there, that's where we have to concentrate, and that's the reason these two languages are used. And for today's session, I'm going to show you only Python, and I'm actually working with Jupyter. Okay, Okay, but I'll also just introduce you how the Colab works. Okay, and I'll tell you why I am not using Colab and I'm only sticking to the Jupyter. Okay, that we can see here. And with this I'm stopping my presentation, and we can go to the uh, programming. If possible, if any one of you have this Jupyter already, okay, you can turn on your systems and you can start to work, okay, along with me, so that it will be easy for you. Yeah. So first, I'll tell you a simple example, right? How to open a file. Okay, simply how to read a file. Let me say how to read a file in Colab as well as in my Jupyter. See, I have already installed Anaconda suite in my system, and I have already started my work. Okay, you installed Anaconda, so whenever you want to open the Jupyter, just command prompt like this, okay, and then automatically it will open its working location in your. Now I have set my default location as Google Chrome, but defaultly it will open in IE, Internet Explorer, or Microsoft Edge, whatever you are using. Okay, so I'm going to use both the Jupyter and Colab. Okay, you itself can see what is the difference between these two. Okay, once showing the difference, let me move to uh, Jupyter, which is very easy for me, and that's the area where actually I'm working. I already have some data for you. Okay, so let us try to open it. You simply in your normal browser tab, you search the first link itself. You can choose collab.research.google, which is provided by Google, and you can do any kind of Python oriented programs. Okay, I'm using only for Python orientation. Actually, you can also do C programming also, but it is somewhat tough for me. I'm facing some problems. That's why I'm not using it. Once opening, maybe my internet is a bit slow. Anybody, if working with now watching this video session in laptop or PC, you can try this. Okay, if you are already installed Anaconda, you can try this. Okay, once opening, Hope I'm back now. Is my screen visible and am I audible? Sorry for the inconvenience. My Wi-Fi got disconnected.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. So in Colab, I'm trying to open a file now. Okay. So from Google dot Colab space import files. Okay. Actually, what now I'm telling is it's in Colab. Okay. So uploaded is equal to files dot upload of. So shift enter, or you can even give this simple. Okay, you can click on this, or I can give shift enter. So it is getting executed. So once it is getting executed, it will ask you what file you want to include. Okay, so we have to choose it. Choose files. I am already actually having some set of files to work mainly with the ML algorithms. You can have your own files. Okay, you can get it from GitHub or somewhere. Okay, I got it from one of my trainer, and now mm, here I am giving some data sets. Here I am having okay. So data wh somewhat some CSV file I'm giving. So it is getting uploaded. Okay, so this is how I actually have to upload a file, and then once the upload is over, here it will indicate once the upload is completed, it will show. And then what I have to do is I have to start to read the file, read, and whatever the operation we want to perform, we can do it. Okay, yeah. Saving data wh, actually my file name is data wh.csv, so it is showing here. Okay, so once it is over, now you try to do import pandas as pd. Pandas are the uh, main thing which is used for file purpose. Okay, so in data science, then import, I'll show you the difference between both this and your Jupyter. Okay, it's the running is over. Now I am reading the file pd dot read underscore. It is a CSV file. If it is an Excel, we have to give it as Excel. Then io dot bytes. Io it is coming. Open a bracket. Uploaded of. Sorry, it's a square bracket. Single quotes. You can give the file name whatever we are having here. Data wh.csv. CSV. So once I completed reading the file, I have to check whether I read the file or not, isn't it? So I can check it like the dot head off, or we can even print it, but I don't know the size of the file, so I am not printing it fully. Okay, so the first five rows will be displayed if I am giving d dot head. So whatever the file I am reading is data wh.csv. So what it is doing is it is reading and holding that content in the variable d, and I am printing only the first uh, five lines. If I want to know what is actually the number of rows and columns in that, I can use shape. Oh, sorry. It is actually not this one. The simply shape. It contains actually 20 columns and 6, sorry, 20 rows and 6 columns. If I want to print the entire content, which is not required, but maybe if it is, we can print it like this. So this is the content of the file data wh dot. So now the same thing. Now I am trying with my um, Jupyter. Okay, I am starting a new file here. Let me copy this. No, no need of copying. Just you can see the change difference. Okay, actually we have to click new and then a Python 3 so that it will open an environment, but it is not opening for me. So what I'm going to do is I'll just open some existing untitled ones, something, or in some rename it. The thing is, once you are installing the Anaconda suite, low capacity processor, it will be leading to some problem. Actually, I have installed the MATLAB Anaconda everything, so it is getting bit slow. And the next thing is your Wi-Fi connectivity. Okay, or let me close everything and open again. Yes, sorry for the, yeah, it will open now. It is trying, actually tried, it is not possible for it. Yes, it will take a second. Let us go for that collab. Okay, so now when I'm using collab, I have to use something like I have to seek the help from Google, because Google, it tries to store your data in your cloud, right? So what it will do is, whatever, whenever I'm trying to open a file, or whenever I'm trying to overwrite a file, it will tell you to upload it. Okay, so that it needs a connection to Google and all. Means it has to go and check the cloud. It has to do some work, but that's why these two lines, and then I have to use this. But when it comes for that. Uh, I'll include here. When it comes with your Jupyter, there is no need of going this much. The first and foremost thing is I have to import the pandas, okay, and then the same thing. I have to read the file. I'm telling here data frame. We used to refer this variable as data frame. Here in this example, I used actually D, isn't it? So this is nothing but the data frames, which is mainly used to hold. In for normala, when it comes for a C or a Python programming, we used to assign a variable, right? But in data science, or whenever you are handling with this kind of models, you used to call that as a data frame. So I'll be reading it pd dot read underscore csv. We can also see how to open a url, okay, url file also. And then I'll be using there, I have to mention it as a raw string, and then I have to mention the entire path where actually my file is there. Okay, so again coming for this path, where actually my program stored is here. Sorry, not program, that sample data sets. So this is where it present, right? So I'm coming here, copy this location, and I can use it. And the file name is data and wh dot csv. So this is how we are going to do it. Now I'm trying to, okay, until that we can work here. And then now I'm doing only as an text here. I'm not executing in Colab itself. I'm executing that as a text, not as a program. Once it is getting opened, and then whatever the term we want to work with this, okay, we can do. Like இதுக்கு முன்னாடி நம்ம இங்க கொலாப்ல பார்த்த மாதிரி, you don't need to depend on Google. You don't need to import some uh, uh, packages from Google, okay, to include your file. Okay, just you can use these two lines, that's sufficient. Okay, and that's the difference between your Colab and Jupyter. And to study, to include some more lines in my program, to avoid that usage, I'm using only Jupyter always. But unfortunately it is creating problem for me now. Let me copy this. Yes. So similar to your collab, here also shift enter. So once I'm entering shift enter, it will execute. The star indicates that this particular line is still in execution. Okay, I can use shift enter, or I can can use the run command here, run cell here, okay, so that it will get executed. If I want to insert any cells between, for example, import pandas as PD, and then I am giving the line as df read underscore csv, I am reading this file, right? So in between this, if I want to give any, include any lines abdina, you can add this inside a cell below, you can give here, and hence it will open it. Okay, this is how we can include a file, include a cell, and then I have completed reading. See, it has completed its reading. So now I can give df, I have given the name df dot shape, shift enter. So it is giving 20 bar 20 comma 6. Okay, so now we can see the output given by both Colab and my Jupyter is same, but the number of lines involved, it involves only two number of lines, whereas in Colab you need, you need to depend on some other thing. Okay, I have to remember some additional terms, that's why I'm not using Colab. Okay, so now I'm going to proceed only with my Jupyter. So I'm closing it as of now. Okay, if anybody having working, as I told, working in your system, please you can try this. Okay, now I'm closing it, and we can move to Jupyter alone, because I'm facing some issues with my multiple tabs. Yeah, okay. So now we just have seen how we are reading a file, and then whatever the kind of file you are reading. For example, if you want to read a file of Excel format, you can give here as Excel. Okay, a JSON file, you can give JSON, whatever the name you want to give, whatever the type of file you want to read, yes, you can read here. Okay, so and then as I told, df dot head of, if I want to view the first three lines, yes, you can see first three columns of your, sorry, three rows of your thing. Okay, and then if I want to read some URL file, okay, so whatever the file, but you know, when I'm trying to read a URL file, you have to be a bit clear, because it should, it, we all know, for example, here I'm taking one Wikipedia page, okay, which contains some data actually, like a table and then some diagram it contains. You can even go through this uh, site, I'll be giving that in chat. If possible, you can go through that Wikipedia site, and you can see that it contains some sort of statistical analysis, it contains some data. So if you want, you can go through it. So once I give the URL, I am reading it again. Some DL I'm giving, the name is DL is equal to PD dot read underscore HTML of the URL what I am giving here. Okay, so shift enter. Okay, now it got over. Now I can see the length of my DL, whether something got read or not. Yes, it contains some 15 lines. I'm not sure what are that lines. We can see that DL of some, oh sorry, in mention it, whenever it reads URL, it will read it as a list. So what I can say is, in a Python, how we will declare a list, how we will be using a list, similar to that we can use here. DL is my name. Sorry, whenever you are reading the URL, it is a bit different. Okay, so These are all some kind of data it contains. See, okay, so this type of data is available. Okay, now I got some data from net and I want to convert into an Excel file or to some CSV file. What I can do? Yes, it is possible. What you can do is some d dot Excel of the term R, as I told, it means that um, rastering. Okay, if I'm not giving, sometimes it will give the error. It cannot read that as a file, and that's why I'm giving. I'm going to give some location and place. What I'm going to use now is inside to that I'm giving COVID data. What I have given that TL. It is showing somewhere. Kindly hold on for a minute. I'll check what is that error it is showing. Okay, let me use some other data already I'm having. The data frames which I'm having already. Now engine file type. Actually, when we are doing this line, it will show like where you can wherever you want to store the data as an Excel file or a CSV file, it will show us store it. Okay, so that is the purpose of it, but it wasn't working right now because of I'm giving the name as properly. URL is equal to it is now in DL and it is showing yes it is available, the contents are available, and DLSL list. So wait, let me go and check whether I have. Hello? அதான் அதான் ட்ரை பண்ணுறேன் நிஷி. இன்னும் ஒன்று என்கிட்ட இருக்குது பார்த்துக்கோ. இது நான் ஒரே ட்ரை பண்ணி சொல்கிறேன். Okay, let me wait. once inputting, I think we can see that this is the only pending thing. If it is over, we can go for that any one of the regression, logistic regression, for example, we can go for it. And how the data cleaning is what actually planned. This is just an additional version. But it is still running. Actually, I have tried with another file type and it was good. Yeah, now it is. It got it. So it actually got executed, I think, but still data.excel. Let me check whether it is. No. No engine for file type. Okay, let me check what's the mistake I'm doing. Mm, uh, okay, let it to run for some time, and by the meantime, I will start one more thing, that is your logistic regression. That is one of the supervised learning ML. We can see that. Actually, this logistic. Let me check whether it is getting opened. Until that, we can see that. Okay. So this logistic regression, it is working mainly on the linear model, as I told during that introduction session of supervised learning algorithms. That linear regression, logistic regression, these models are working mainly with the linear model. Okay, so if I'm not giving anything like a categorical data, okay, so if I'm not giving anything like that, means what will happen is the prediction what you are getting might not be an accurate one. Okay, you will get some output. Okay, but I cannot say it is an accurate result. That is the difference between your means choosing the perfect algorithm for the perfect data. Okay, and also when we look into it now, we have n number of data. அது வந்து நமக்கே தெரியும் the type of data we are already having. Okay, so yes, I'm actually doing it. Yeah, sorry, that now I got it. What's the mistake that I have done? I should have allocated it. I didn't allocate that value. See, this is the mistake I have done. So when I was trying to display it, now I have to. I should have stored that value here. Here I should have stored it. Okay, somewhere like this. And then if I'm doing this, and I don't need this actually. Or I think maybe it is showing the problem because I have already included that. df5 and then df dot 2 underscore xl of x as x. Okay, it got it's showing no error. Now let me go and check. Yeah, thank God. Now I got the output. It is COVID data. So whatever the data we are trying to push, okay, export inside this file. Now I'm exporting only 5 lines of code. If I'm doing like there are 15 lines of code, isn't it? There is, sorry, 15 lines of data. So if I want to include all the 50 lines, yes, it can be done. Or if I want to only include 5, 10, whatever it is, I can do that. So if I'm checking the shape of this data, it is showing like for 432, that is 432 columns and 5 columns and 432 rows of data has been imported. Okay, so this is how we just have seen how the data, yeah, sorry, the different files can be read, and how you can read a URL and then that data can be exported. Okay, so this is what we have seen here. Now again we can go back to this logistic regression. Yes, sorry for the inconvenience caused. Now in this logistic regression, as we have seen linear model, it is and also mainly used for classification problems. Okay, so for this kind of purpose, we are using the logistical regression. Okay, and if the data involved is categorical data, okay, so we can expect good accuracy level. Okay, so that's the purpose. We again knew that what is meant by this categorical data and the numerical data, right? Numerical data mainly deals with like numbers. Categorical, it is not. Okay, so uh, the, based on the data we can choose the language. I'm sorry, the learning algorithms also, machine learning algorithms also. Okay, so quickly we can see a few of those problems. Now I'm going to consider one bank detail. Okay, so it actually, what's the main goal here is you are going to predict whether a particular member is, if he's not active in your bank for the past 2 years, I can say he or she is going to drop the bank account. Okay, so she will go away from your bank, otherwise no. And then we also going to analyze from which age category the people are leaving your bank. Okay, or whether they are leaving the bank based on the salary, that is that their bank balance, or based on the interest rate. இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ரீசனா நம்ம ஒரு parameters எல்லாம் consider பண்ணி we are going to see that analyzation. Okay, so for that first let us see how we can read the data. Okay, and then after reading it, how the data is getting pre-processed. Like we have to clean the data, we have to check for the missing values, we have to check for outliers. Okay, everything can be done here. Now let me go for the file import, and as a speedy, and I'm using some of the arrays. So import, I'm importing numpy, and then I'm going to import Seaborn as SNS. These are the names what I'm giving. You can give any value whatever you want. And I'm using here matplotlib, which is an optional, but I'm trying to plot those values. And hence I'm using the matplotlib. So the values, whatever I'm giving is PLT, SNS, NP, everything is an optional one. Okay, so optional in the sense whatever the name I want to give, I can give. It is not like இதுதான் கொடுக்கணும் அப்படின்றதெல்லாம் கிடையாது. Okay, so what is the use of this pandas? As I have seen for file purpose, for in ML we'll be using pandas, and then NumPy for arrays. This Seaborn is for statistical graphics in Python. This Seaborn mainly used for graphics in Python language. So for that purpose, I am using, and this is mainly as the name indicates, used for your plotting purpose. Okay, so I'm using. Yes, it is over. It got executed, and then I'm going to uh, see. I'm going directly for this execution with the assumption that we knew already a little bit about those algorithms. Okay, so now we can read the file. I'm reading as df is equal to pd dot read underscore csv of. Okay, again I'm using r. Now I'm going to take the bank data. So where I'm going is bank churn model. So it contains the 10,000 rows and 14 columns. So this is the size of my data, and we can see what are the contents actually available. I'm simply checking. Okay, so the headings available here are the row number, customer ID, surname, credit score, geography, where actually they are from, then gender, age, tenure, how long they are there, balance, the number of products that is they have, like a like a link they have, and then whether they're having credit card, is they are active members. See, the zero means for certain number of years they are not here. Estimated salary, this is what their estimated salary, with the recommendation that whether they are using this as a salary account or not. If it is the case, for so many time the estimated salary will be same, otherwise not. Okay, so whatever it is, they have provided some set of data. Now we read the data, and now we are going to try it. Okay, I'll check only one thing. Yes, we can also check the type of your data. Okay, which is an optional one. Okay, no issues. Okay, now we are going to perform the data cleaning. So when I say that data cleaning, as I told in yesterday's session, you torture the data, to you will get to know many amount of information from that. Okay, so for that, first we are going to clean the data. Okay, so when it comes to the cleaning, whatever I'll be doing is, the main thing is I'll be check for duplicated items. Okay, I'll be checking for duplicated items, and I'll be checking for missing uh, values. Missing values in the sense, for example, here if you see, it all these columns or the data are filled, right? So if, for example, if any one or two rows are missing here, this is not, it is not present. So if it is the case, it will give it. Where in the 10,000 rows, you cannot check it manually, which is a time consuming process. So we are going for it. Okay, so if there is any column you think that it is not required, for example, in the இடத்துல பார்த்தீங்கன்னா the row number is there, maybe you think that it is not as an required, and the surname, you may think that it is not required, maybe. Okay, I'm not sure. You, for your process, for your operation, okay, you are checking that it is not required அப்படின்னா, you can drop the unwanted items, unwanted rows. Okay, you can drop the unwanted items. Okay, so these are some of the process we can do, and then remove the outliers. Okay, so the term outliers means, for example, I am checking for my bank, if there is some output comes, okay, like a hypothesis testing. Okay, there is some value comes, like a threshold value, or I can say, if the threshold value is 1 abdina, yes, I am accepting. And plus or minus zero point 0.4, that is up to 0.67, I am accepting. And also 1.2, 1.3 varaikkum I am accepting, but above 1.3 I am not. Below 0.6 I am not accepting. So that kind of thing is called as outliers. Okay, whether your thing comes exceedingly or to the minimal level. Okay, so these kind of things we are going to check. Okay, that is what the some part of, not the entire part. Okay, some part of your data cleaning. Okay, so first I'm going to check. You just try to remember the name what we have given. It is df, isn't it? So df dot, I'm going to check duplicated of dot sum of. Okay, so I'm going to check whether any duplicated items, actually in this data it is not there, otherwise it will give you the number of duplicated items. Okay, and also to check for the missing values, I can use as df dot is null of, sorry, dot sum of, and this is the sum of is for considering all those things. Okay, so for row number, there is no missing value, zero number of missing values, and for custom ID surname, it means that it indicates that all of your data are filled correctly. எல்லாத்துலயுமே என்ன இருக்கு? It is filled. It is not empty. Okay, so then we are going to drop some unwanted columns. Okay, so let me say I'm going to remove this row number and surname. Okay, these things I am assuming. Again, I'm telling, all these data cleaning methods depends on your application, what is output you are expecting, and based on that I am going to do that. So I am simply just now, just I am telling that I don't need that row number. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, wait, columns. Yeah, so now I'm going to remove row number and the surname. Okay, so df dot drop uh, square bracket, single quotes. Now I'm just copy paste from here. Okay, comma, analysis is equal to 1. It means that I am removing that entire column, okay? And then in place is equal to true. Actually, what is the purpose of this in place is equal to true is next where I see. What happens here is if I'm not giving in place of true abdina, uh, it that I'm removing some two columns, right? So the two columns removal should be updated in the same file. If you are not doing this, if I am doing in place is equal to false or I'm not mentioning, that means what will happen is it will create like a copy, then you need some space to maintain that updated copy na. So that's the reason I'm giving it as in place is equal to true. Now we can check again this df part here. See now, as you can see, these two things, row number and the surname got removed, and only these things are remained here. And I can also check it with the head of. See, it is starting from customer ID, whereas it was having here from row number, customer ID, surname, which is missing here, isn't it? So this is how we can remove if you don't want to include any of the columns in your content. Okay, you can remove it. You may ask, why can't I remove the rows? The thing is, if I'm removing the row now, it doesn't represent any parameter. Actually, your column headings represent the parameter to be included, isn't it? So that's the reason I'm not using that rows. Okay, instead I'm using the columns. Okay, now we can perform the correlation analysis. Only this analysis we can do because of the time, also the length of the code. We can do only the correlation analysis. Okay, actually this gives the entire relation between the correlation between all the parameters involved in your file. Okay, and that's the purpose of this correlation analysis. I'm declaring some variable, and then I'm giving us df dot or of. Okay, and then I'm going to plot it as a heat map. Okay, I'll explain each and every parameter why we actually are using it. Figure of pig size is equal to, I'm giving us 12 comma 9, and you can give any size you want because it just represents the size of your heat map. Now I'm using the scene bond. See, we have declared here the C bond here, isn't it? Import C bond as SNS. So here now I'm using because I'm going to produce that as a heat map. This heat map gives the exact representation of your data. As you can see, or not is equal to true. And again, the use of this or not is equal to true எதுக்காக அப்படின்னா, it represents each value in each cell. Okay, sorry, the data represented or the value represented in each cell, I have to include everything, and that's the reason I'm giving here as or not is equal to true. And then C map is equal to full warm. Actually, this is nothing but it takes the matplotlib color map. Actually, that's the purpose of this CMap. There are some other types of CMap also, like I think magma, plasma, something. It is also available. Okay, so once it is getting executed, as we can see it is showing. We can see. You have to please see this customer ID. I'll shrink my page so that I can. Customer ID versus the customer ID, it will always correlate to 1 because they are the same parameters, right? Similarly, credit score, age, tenor, everything will give us 1. But when it comes for their correlation, when customer ID along with the credit score, you check it is very minimal amount. Actually, the correlation, this linear and logistic regression considers that values because it is categorical data. It will consider as 1, that is yes or no. Okay, 1 or 0. If it is 1, it will accept, or at least it is somewhat equal to 1. Okay, we can see that after getting the value how we are predicting it. But now when we check this, all these values are to the minimal, but see this, it is somewhat better. 0.29, this and all not good. 0.00 அப்படி வரது எல்லாமே we can remove. It will show you 0.29. Okay, 1 is the highest value, so it is showing as எல்லாமே சேமா இருக்கான்னு ரெட் அதை விட்டுருங்க. பட் சி, ஸோ ஏஜ் ஃபேக்டர் கேன் பி கன்சிடர். ஓகே, and then along with the age, who is actually getting compared exited. Okay, who is actually getting exited from your bank. Okay, whether the age people like யாரு ஒரு 60 வயசுக்கு மேல இருக்கிறவங்க, ஆர் தோஸ் who are in the age of above 70, யார் வந்து who is actually moving out of your பேங்க். ஓகே, ஸோ அதுக்கு வந்து எந்தெந்த ஃபேக்டர்ஸ் இம்பார்ட்டண்ட்டாக இருக்கும் அப்படின்றத we can just trying to predict. Okay, from this heat map, from the values, it is giving the correlation between everything. Okay, your customer ID is related to the credit score with only this much correlation, that is link present between them, the relation between them. Okay, only this much, so that it is not a great factor for me. But age, see, it is somewhat compared to other factor, it is playing somewhat good role. Okay, then your exited. Okay, exited along with this age, it is giving a good. So with this, I'm just going to assume that only a few features are important. At the beginning, I'm just importing the file without knowing what are the data actually available inside. Okay, எல்லாத்தையும் just I'm importing, and then I'm trying to go through all the data, and just by the column names I'm trying to remove some of the unwanted columns. And then after getting into this diagrammatic representation, I'm actually இதுக்கு முன்னாடி while during the data cleaning I'm trying to remove the unwanted things, but after this heat map I'm trying to identify which may be the important things. Okay, so I can say age is an important factor, isn't it? Okay, so age is an important factor because just by this value I'm telling. Okay, and then I can say what about your balance? Is it playing in, it's giving, yeah, it is also giving somewhat okay, 0.12. Then what else? Is active member, is it producing any good results? No, but we actually have to check whether that is an active member, and hence I'm considering this is active member as an important one. Okay, and then balance actually I can consider. Okay, so as of now only 3 factors I'm considering. Okay, age, and then your is active member. Okay, and then I can say my balance. Actually it's in case sensitive, so if I'm using for coding purpose I have to check the case very clearly. Okay, so after this we are just going to check that value. Okay, so I'm assigning one variable, and I'm going to take some set of code. Okay, I'll copy paste everything, and we can remove the unwanted things. So this customer ID is not required for me. Stuff name, I'm considering this credit score. Okay. This geography and all, I think gender also is not a matter for me. Age is an important factor. Tenure I'm considering because how long that person is present inside your place, and whether he is having credit card or not, that is not a matter. Is active member, yes. And then estimated salary, yes, we can have, we are just going to try it out. Okay, if it is not necessary we can remove them. Exited I'm taking because why I'm taking exited is I'm going to check whether that particular person is still existing or not. Okay, so xt is equal to, I'm assigning all this, I'm going to check all these parameters against. df of uh, exited. Is the spelling correct? That's the problem here. Yeah, exited. Okay, so once it is done, I'm going to from scikit-learn it is. Okay, this is a tool mainly used in machine learning algorithms for many packages. Okay, feature underscore selection import f underscore passive. Value is what I have got. I'm just trying to plot it. Okay, not plotting. Just I'm going to print it for I in range of len of nums print print nums of I. This p value now gives you that each and every parameter against each and every parameter. Okay, feature. Sklearn. Sorry, I'm facing some problem here. FEATURE. Is there any spelling mistake? Selection. Import F space class if and then F square is going. Let me check, please. What's the mistake I'm doing here? Sklan dot. Okay, again it is dot. Uh, just with this, we will wind up the session. Just 2 more minutes. Once we get the value, actually we will be getting some set of values. With that, you can say that what are that values you need and what are the values you don't need. Okay, selection dot. Oh my god, it is still saying from sklearn dot feature underscore selection, and then actually it should come as import. Mm, okay, let me check it with ma'am. Is it okay if I'm taking 5 more minutes?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. I'm actually making some mistake here. Let me check. Actually, I have completed all these kind of programs already. It is also still. Actually, it will give the value like credit score is equal to some 1.03, and then age is equal to some 0.776, like that it will give. So when it comes like that, now it actually means that as I told, it is a categorical data. You can say like if it is come like 1.1 like that, now yes, you can accept it. Then it is the fact that age is also a matter which makes your thing to that person to leave your bank. Okay, and then if it is comes like below 0.67 like that, only it is coming like -1 0 point or -1 point something it is giving, you can omit that factors. Okay, it means that these are the factors influencing your bank's existence, that is whether that particular person is exiting your bank or not. Based on that we can identify. Actually, that is what this output will be. And then we can also perform what the analysis we are doing right now is only the correlation analysis. Okay, we have done only correlation analysis, and then there is like ANOVA and then T-test, which by using that you can also checking your hypothesis testing. Yeah, this is what it mm, yes, it is correct, but still it is actually showing me some set of errors. Let me conclude with this. Okay, so actually this is the output it should be. Okay, why I don't know why it is not working for me, especially in that import. I am facing some problem, but as you can see, the credit core value is equal to 0.006. It means that your credit core parameter doesn't play any role for the person to exit your bank, whereas age is a factor and tenure is also not a problem. Balance is a factor, and the number of products where actually he's linking himself, it is not a problem because it goes outside the outlay. There is 1.71 it comes, so it is not a problem. Estimated salary is also not a problem. So the main factors that are influencing are your age and your balance, because here the hypothesis what I said was 1, so up to 1.3 it is okay. So the age and balance are the main factors that is influencing your just a minute, that is influencing your bank customers, whether they are continuing or not. Just a minute. Yeah, okay. So this is the age and balance are the main factor. This is how we are coming for the conclusion. Okay. So that's it. This is as of now we just have completed only one correlation. But again, as I told, there are so many tests you can perform and you can analyze how your data is working. And also, as I told, this is only one algorithm, isn't it? So there are so many algorithms which present and with which you can do your analysis. இது நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி கேட்டகரிகள் ஒரு சிம்பிள் செட் ஆஃப் டேட்டாக்கு. Whereas if it comes like uh, numerical data, you can go for something else. Even for linear regression, yes, it will work very well and good. Okay, so this is the difference between this kind of data. And okay, thank you all, thank you for attending this session. I'll stop my presentation now. And sorry for the delay.